Hey guys, welcome to Terraria with Yak. How you doing today? This is the guide for fighting Plantera on Calamity's Death Mode and Master Mode enabled, the hardest game modes. Um, Now what you want to do is once you spawn the boss in, once you get ready, you want to have your Arc of the Ancients pre-parried. Always make sure to do that, and then because it deals the most damage in parried format. But then once you use all of the parry swings, then you want to switch right to the Celestial Claymore because, you know, once again, it's just completely broken. It just, the damage on this sword is so high up. But then you're not going to be able to fight the boss close range anymore, so you're going to want to switch to either the Biome Blade or the Ponage Hammer once you have to stay at range a little bit more. So you'll notice I'm using the Hollowed Armor. There's a few different armor sets that you can use. You know, you've got the Hollowed Armor, the Chlorophyte Armor, the Turtle Armor, you know, even some of the armor sets that we've used previously, Daedalus and Mithril Armor. Those are all good options, but I think the Hollowed Armor is the best all around. It gives great defense, great damage, movement speed, and the set bonus is probably the best set bonus at this stage by far. It's the set bonus of, like, once you attack, then you can dodge the next attack. It's really, really good. It's really personal preference though. So the boss Plantera has two main phases. The first phase is what we're in right now, and that happens until 50% of the health remaining. It's basically, you'll notice the sprite for the boss has a closed flower, and the boss moves very slowly. The projectiles are very slow. They don't shoot very fast. And you basically just have to keep circling the boss in the first phase. Kind of see what I'm doing here. You know, I'm just going around in a circle. That's definitely the best way. And the Biome Blade is probably the best weapon for the first phase because there's nothing to block your projectiles. So you can just keep on hitting the boss with the Biome Blade projectiles. And that's on the forest biome projectiles. So just to let you know there. Once you hit the second phase here, you'll see it just switched over there on screen. The mouth will open up and the tentacles will spawn. And this is where the Biome Blade kind of becomes not great because the tentacles will block your projectiles, and that's not what we want. So you want to switch over to the Celestial Claymore again because you want to get rid of the tentacles as fast as possible because they are very annoying. They deal the most damage and they're just by far the most threatening thing at this time. And the Celestial Claymore is great actually for clearing these hooks because they pretty much just follow you around, and that's pretty much what the Claymore is good at taking down. And then once you get rid of all the tentacles, they do respawn after a while, but once you get it to a point where there's not many, you can switch over to the Ponage Hammer or the Biome Blade, but you could just keep using the Celestial Claymore for the entire fight and just keep doing the circle motion like I mentioned previously. Something to note is that the hooks that the boss spawns with, that's kind of just how it's like an aesthetic thing, I guess. That's how it grabs onto the walls, I guess. They do deal damage if you run into them, so try your best not to run into them, but that's just a very minor thing. Next thing to note here is that once you get in phase 2, it becomes progressively more difficult, and there's not really a indication for when it becomes more difficult. It just kind of progressively becomes more difficult. There will be more tentacles spawning, more projectiles, more spore clouds, those little green cloud things, more spiky balls, more just seed projectiles, and the boss will actually start dashing eventually as well. After a few projectiles. So that's just something to note there. This fight is very difficult, guys, and I would highly recommend fighting this boss after Calamitous Clone just because I think it is far more difficult. So you want to obtain the best gear possible. And especially for melee class, I think your damage is a little bit lacking. so you want to make sure the other areas of your kit are the best possible. And speaking of that, I want to go ahead and touch on the accessories. I touched on the accessories in my Calamitous video, but I'm just going to go over them again here. You want to make sure you're using the angel treads and the mechanical glove at this point. Everything else is the same since the beginning of hard mode, so you should be good there. But yeah, just make sure you have the maxed accessories for this stage. Alright, but anyways, that's pretty much... Oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about before I kill the boss here on screen. You'll notice at the beginning of the video, I used the summon item, and I did not spawn it by using the Plantera bulb, because in the Calamity mod, they actually add a summon item that you can obtain before you beat this boss, and it's very easy to obtain, guys. So I would highly recommend using the item over the bulb, just because it's very convenient and it's very quality of life. So with that being said, that's about all I have to talk about. Also, I haven't really talked about life fruit much. Make sure you are obtaining those life fruits and getting that full 20 life fruit of extra health that you can get. But anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.